Cool. All right, I'm Taylor Jensen. This is my Thunderbolt quiver. We're going to start here. I'm going to start off with the specialty. We'll work our way down the range and kind of what I ride as the surf gets bigger and better. So this is a 9.6 specialty in Thunderbolt red construction. Not red because it's red because the way it's laminated and built. So because it's laminated in fiberglass, it has a little bit more flex than the black build, which we'll get to in a minute. Basically, we designed the specialty as a board for smaller surf, something that still has a lot of performance hidden in more of a traditional outline and rocker, but really a board that's like sort of 2 to 3 feet range, kind of make the most out of small conditions, something you can still generate a lot of speed on, but that's really geared more as sort of a nose rider or a board that trims really easy through the flats. How we did that, it's 9.6, 23 by 3, pretty standard dimensions for a 9.6 longboard. What Dan was able to do in this one though, is we left the hard edge in, which gives you a little bit more up and go off the takeoff. It allows you to generate speed, also makes turning super easy. So rather than having a board that has no edge that just kind of flops from side to side, you can actually drive off your rail on this, and it really makes surfing small waves super fun. You can create your own speed where you want to, and you can turn on a dime instead of kind of having to forecast everything. What Dan also did was nice deep teardrop concave. You'll see that pretty much across my entire range. I'm a big fan of getting a bit of lift under the nose that way. Look, I grew up in California. I surf really flatter faced waves. In my experience, a little bit of concave under there gets a little bit of air up, helps you get lift on the nose. You can see the specialty is a single fin. I run with a 10 or 11 inch single fin. It's called the Power Drive from Flying Diamonds. Basically, it's my go-to for anything single fin surfing. I love it. It's something that still gives you a ton of hold on the nose, but as you jump back on the tail, all that rake helps you generate more drive, more performance from back there. I guess that's kind of a consistent across everything that I do. I love performance. I love boards that work, that perform under your feet, that generate speed, that go fast, and that turn really well. So moving from the specialty, which is like my kind of small wave board, we'll move over to the gem. It's a step up in wave size. It's a step up in performance. It's kind of a step up across the board. This is a 9.1 in black construction. So going back to the construction differences again, this is laminated in carbon, which makes it a bit stiffer. This is a 9.1. This is kind of a flatter faced wave performance longboard in a 9.1. It goes up to 9.5, which then kind of drops back more to traditional, but we'll stick to the 9.1 right now. This thing was designed for kind of guys who don't know what they want. They want something that's traditional that'll work when it's small, but they also want something that's performance for when the surf picks up a bit. This is basically an all-in-one longboard. What Dan was able to do with this one is obviously the hard edge again. Being a performance longboard, you need to have that hard edge. Dan put a really deep double concave in it, which is something you see in a lot of his shortboards as well. What that does is that generates a ton of speed, but it also helps the board roll over from rail to rail really easily. So that combo with the diamond tail, for me, allows this board to turn in a tighter radius, but it also keeps your speed going through your turns. So I have a lot of people that comment to me, this board maintains its speed through its turns and can come out of a turn with more speed than you went into it, which once you figure that out, that's like a key to keeping your flow in your surfing. And it's something that's made sort of flatter surf really fun for me. Basically, this board has all the trim and glide of the specialty, but all the performance of the TJ Pro, which we'll get to in a minute. I have this one set up as a 2+1 right now. I do go with a much smaller side fin. I have a small edge side bite from Flying Diamonds in this. Look, it just helps it kind of pivot a little bit more than a larger side, which I'll ride in my TJ Pros. This is kind of my fun board when the surf's not really providing 110% and I just want to go out and have a good time. I'm not sure if I want to be performance or be tradition or be modern. I can kind of go in between both, and a good wave comes my way, I can surf performance. A flatter wave comes my way, I'm not afraid to take it. I can still trim and nose ride just as good on this. So that's the gem. And then again, this is the red. Same thing again. The black is just stiffer. It's laminated in carbon. The red just has more flex. It's laminated in fiberglass. You can see I have this red set up as a single fin. The other day I was surfing just kind of soft, fat waves, but it had a lot of chop in it. So I wanted to ride the red, but it was small. It was kind of gutless. Kind of felt like having that single fin feel in it. So I chucked a single fin in, and that's a 9-inch Pro Flex from Flying Diamonds. It felt insane. Just gives it a little bit more loose and kind of that single fin trim and line to it. But yeah, it has a bit more flex, so I could still fit in those little crumbles and pockets and make the most out of really crummy surf. All right, I got to create a little bit more space so I can fit in next to these TJ Pros. Sure is good having a quiver that can keep you happy in every different condition. I'm super lucky and fortunate to be able to have that. So this now, we're going to get into what's kind of my staple, what I've built my career on, what's won world titles. The TJ Pro is what I've ridden for, 10 plus years now. A red, a black, same thing again with the differences. The red's laminated in fiberglass, it has more flex. The black's laminated in carbon, it has a stiffer flex. The TJ Pro for me is as performance as a longboard gets. We designed this thing, it's all about speed, it's all about power, it's all about flow. Those are the three main criteria of our World Longboard Tour when we designed this board. To me, it doesn't get much better than riding this thing in good surf. The bigger and better it gets, the more these things come out. So basically what the TJ Pro is, it's a rounded pintail. It's got a good amount of rocker in the nose. It's pulled in a little bit more than the nose of the Gem, way more than the Specialty. The reason why we have the added rocker is so it'll fit in a tight pocket. These boards are all about surfing close to the pocket, doing big turns in the hook. Basically, you need that rocker to fit. It's something you'll see when guys are riding the wrong board or too flat of a board in really good waves. The nose will catch all the time, especially when they're doing a turn and coming down to the bottom, and in that transition spot, the nose will dig. These things don't do that. They're made to fit in really good waves, high power surf, steep pockets. I mean, I can't say enough good about these things. It's my favorite board by far. You'll see in the bottom, similar thing again, double concave, not as drastic as what we have in the Gem. Reason being, we have more in the Gem because it's for flatter surf. You want to generate way more speed. These things are more about controlling the speed and harnessing that speed. We still have a nice double concave, so it rolls over really easy. Good hard edge, so you can really knife it in and push hard on that tail. Good nose concave too, again, same sort of thing. It's not really a teardrop, but it is a single concave there, and then it goes to flat about here, transitions into a double out the tail, tiny bit of V off the back. I always pretty much run the same fin setup. In the red though, I've found that I ride a bit of a bigger center. I go with a 7-inch signature center from Flying Diamonds. And then in the sides, I ride my medium set. Reason being is the red has a little bit more flex. And for me, I really like this board in choppy conditions. With the smaller sides and the bigger center, I can get a little bit more pivot in my surfing and not as much drive, which just helps me make the most of every little crumble. And you know, you can kind of connect the dots down the line. It makes it really easy. We'll move over to the black. This board just gets me super excited. That's the best way to say it. If I'm riding this, I know the surf's pumping. I'm going to have so much fun. It's like, I don't know, I just get excited to go surfing when I know that this thing's coming out and I'm waxing this board up. I just really like the black when there's a lot of power behind the surf. That's just my personal preference. It works great when it's small and clean. Works really good in anything. I just find, because I'm fortunate enough to have the two techs, that I prefer the red choppier surf and I prefer the black and cleaner, bigger surf. You can see with this one too, it's the same tail, same everything. Difference is I pair this with a little bit bigger side fin. Reason being, I'm probably in bigger surf, probably dealing with more power. I want more hold. I also stepped down my center fin to a 6.5 inch. It's just a personal preference, but yeah, it's all about, this board's all about drive. And when I'm pulling out the black, it's a bigger open-faced canvas, and I'm not looking for sharp direction changes. I'm looking to really draw out like big open carves and roundhouses, and this board really allows me to do that with that fin setup. Yeah, if you guys have any interest or any questions about the fins, just hit me up, send me a DM. I respond 100% of the time. One token of advice, Don't wear a brand new sweatshirt that's black when you're picking up surfboards that have been sitting in the sun, man. I'm covered in wax. Time to change, wash this thing.